Welcome, everybody, back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, Episode 8. What happened last time?
Last time, we found out that the girl who didn't believe in adolescence syndrome is now experiencing it for herself. We knew this would happen at some point, and now it is happening. But there are two of her, interesting, I suppose, and one of her, or maybe both of her pre-splitting up,
are taking lewd photos and putting them on the internet. And it was just found out by Kamisato. I always forget the guy's name.
Me too. I don't know why they talk about him all the time.
I remember his shitty girlfriend's name, but I don't remember his name. Anyway, they're found out by her, who's probably the worst person to find out about this. Because she's trying to go for her man. But yeah, this episode is starting off with the opening, so we know it's going to be a packed episode. Indeed. Hope you guys enjoy. Yeah. We're getting right into it. Check us out on Patreon if you want to get a week ahead on this show and many others, as well as get the uncut for this series and Naruto and other things as well. Hope you enjoy this episode. Reaction for the official release. Watch on Crunchyroll or Funimation, and don't come here to watch the show. We're not providing this as a free alternative. We're providing what we think, our reaction, our review to the shows that we watch. We are not providing a free way to watch the show. Let's go! Bunny Girl Senpai Episode 8. Yeah, the more we watch, the more the show seems like a case of why are they in high school, you know?
Well,
like this, like it would just make way more sense if he was just a college student who now has to take care of his sister.
I guess they're in high school because the whole concept is adolescence or puberty syndrome caused by the stress of high school and the environment that high school creates.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't.
I guess it does make sense, but just their lifestyles, it's the same thing where their lifestyles don't like, another bath scene.
Why does she keep leaving her front hairs to go in the water?
Yeah, exactly. She goes through all this effort to put her hair up. She's very oh shit.
Oh.
I was just gonna say, yeah. I was just gonna say, Futaba seems really, it's weird, it's strange how, like, self-aware she is of how, like, fucked up her situation is.
This is going deep.
What are those things? Are they like cookies?
I think so. This is getting really serious.
Really
This
scary.
is getting really serious. Whoa. Whoa! They're out of town. The parents are
In
out of
Europe.
town. Overseas for business. Another bath scene? Twice in one episode. Double the Rio, double the bath. That's really sad. What the fuck, man? I wonder if they say flip. Are they saying like frick when they say that, or are they saying fuck?
Or are they saying flippin'?
I don't think they're saying flippin'. Sparklers?
What is
On the beach?
Or is it a firework? I can't. Oh, candle? Oh, yeah, sparkle. Whoa! Those are some really cool sparklers.
I'm just thinking, what if Sakta sent that message of like, oh, your uniform, to like start all this shit?
To scare her?
Yeah. Some Roman candles. I'm surprised high schoolers are just allowed to buy shit like that at the convenience
You
store.
can buy sparklers at the dollar store.
But those are like Roman candles.
Yeah.
さっきの双葉の泣き顔を見たらもういいやってああくそ負けたこっからだとよく見えそうだなまた3人で見ようぜ可愛い彼女と約束はしてないのかよああただいま絶賛喧嘩中約束してないのただいま事務所からデート禁止令が発さすが超人気芸人双葉はに予定ないじゃあ決まりそんな明るくなってねこんな風に徹夜するの初めて何やってんだろうそりゃバカなことだろうなバカなことしてんなあずさ川と国見が女子だったらよかったもう始発動いじゃあお疲れまたなおう
They just stayed up all night. That's crazy.
怖いなら今日も一緒にいるぞそれは平気もう一人の私のこと重症なのはあっちの方だよだからお願いもう一人の私のことお願い
Take care.
Kill her.
Yeah. You know what you have to do.
ただいまお疲れだねアカウントは消したって多分もうしないと思うそう詳しくは後で話すよとにかく眠い寝る
She's just gonna get Thanos'd? Oh shit.
Both of them? I wonder if she trained the cats to do that. Like,
双葉は部屋いえまだ帰ってませんは出かけてるのかくそスマホ置いてったのかよ
Oh, Jesus.
最悪だなくそ双葉がいなくなった帰って爆睡して起きたら荷物ごときれいさっぱり消えてた一人に戻ったわけじゃないと思う行き先に心当たりはないか私だったら
To the beach?
あーくそほんとめんどくせえ双葉めんどくせえああひどい目にあった昨日てか今朝か双葉に言い忘れたことがあってさ何来週花火かね江ノ島の花火大会だよ国見も来るってさ私は双葉も来るだろ行かないなんか予定あるのかこの世界に双葉リオは2人いらないもう一人の私は私なんかよりよっぽど
She's gonna kill herself?
世界に馴染んでる私がいなくなれば全部解決する回答としては不正解だな間違ってない大間違いだ根本から間違ってるだったらなんであんな写真あんな羨ましいからそう思うしかない私の居場所などにもない私はもういらないんだってあっちの私がいればいいんでしょあずさ川は無神経だああ今さら何言ってんだよ僕が無神経なことくらいよく知ってるだろう上沼海岸駅に6時半集合な僕からは以上だ
He's fucking like exhausted.
she hasn't slept in so long.
I thought it was Shoko for a second.
すごい美人のつい自分はもう必要ないだとか自分がいなくなればでも本当は怖くてどうすればいいだとかそういうめんどくさい話ならもう聞きたくない
Sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
自分の子も嫌いでいいんだよ僕はまこんなもんだろって思いながら生きてる
Preaching to the choir there, Futaba.
さすがだね普通だとここは少しずつ自分を好きにいいとか双葉にもいいところはいっぱいあるとんじゃないの前向きな生き方疲れるだけだ最低だねあずさ川はなんかホッとする
Turns into sand right there.
あのさ、花火っていい？ダメだな。
I thought I told you to stay home.
私も花火行きたい。言う相手間違えてる。
Hmm.
You need to ask your.
No, ask your boyfriend. And tell him about the whole doppelganger thing. He'd be delighted to hear there's two of you. Trust me. He'd dump his shitty girlfriend for two big-tittied waifus any day.
があるんだけど、私も一緒に花火行きたい。
She did it. She did it, and now they're one once again. Or she disappeared. Futaba? Hello? Oh, she asked herself. You're right. You're right. That's crazy. You're right. I was totally.
Yeah, she just needed to accept both sides of herself, and
Yeah.
then she could be one person again.
やってるよ。なあ、さくた。なんかエロい。ま、確かに。浴衣は嫌だったね。
I really like them as like a three-friend group.
Yeah.
It works really well.
何？俺。返事はいいよ。分かっそうか。なんか言われたら私泣くと思う。そしたら
Just scoots over.
鼻かんでいいぞ。バカ。
What do you think she asked?
彼女と仲直りしなよ。どうせ私かあずさ川が原因でしょ。ああ。後で電話してみよっかな。
It's been, oh, sorry, I paused it. People, sorry. Oh shit. Don't know what that's about. Sorry,
Did they
uncut
swap
people.
bodies or some weird shit?
What did she say on the program? Like
That she was like her like dream. That was like her favorite thing or whatever. Oh, maybe she wanted to be her. Or
who the
some-
blonde girl wanted
the
to be Mai?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So then they switched by accident.
That'd be interesting.
That would be really weird.
But yeah, Futaba is now best girl 100%. I thought
She's
so
so good.
before, but she's fucking absolutely the best. She's the cutest, and she's the smartest, and she's the coolest, and she's the most real and relatable of like anyone. The way that she like her issue is more, I don't know, it's a little more fucked up than like most of the other people.
Yeah.
Like the previous ones have just been like I mean, Kaede's story was good, but we didn't like dive into it. We just kind of heard what happened.
I'm sure. I feel like we'll get into it more.
I think
if
so
not
as well.
in this season, maybe if there's more after.
But yeah, this arc really solidified the show to me. These videos haven't. We're watching it before it's even posted, so we don't know if people didn't like our reaction to certain like build-ups, like both huge climaxes. Either I flicked myself in the eye, or we didn't really cry for Koga's, or get super emotional about it. I don't know if people are gonna be pissed off at that, but like, I don't know what it was, but all I can say for sure is that this arc really solidified the show for me, and I really like it. Maybe it's just the situation was different enough. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
I think the thing with Koga, it was like not necessarily. It was still like kind of relatable and a really real thing.
Yes.
But she was being selfish, and like
She was just being-
She was being.
willfully ignorant
Yeah.
and blind, like
And
willfully
then
blind
especially,
to her situation.
yeah, she was just really wanting to take the easy way out.
And it was so it was relatable, and it is very real. Like all the inner conflicts in the show have been like very relatable and real, but it's just so it doesn't take like the fact that it's frustrating is what made her story interesting and good. But the fact that this one is like so there's such like a deep problem with her that like it's depression but also like real self-loathing, and then like reaching out to the internet for fucking validation.
But then doing it in a way that she will hurt herself. as like
on purpose, but then like but then
because
when
it's like kind of good, but she like wants the attention, but not in that way.
But she knows that like, it's impure or like kind of fucking weird. Like,
and she doesn't like that she's doing it, but she's still doing. Yeah, it's just a really, really.
It's like the weirdest form of self-harm, but like I don't know. It's really interesting, and the fact that she was actually suicidal and was just like. She ended up disappearing, but in a different way. She was talking about killing herself in like a roundabout way without like full out saying it. But yeah, it's just, you know, but I think what is also interesting about it is it shows that although somebody can be like really suicidal or like have these self-destructive tendencies, they can also overcome it, but not just like. That sounds really basic and like obvious, but like that's not her entire personality is really interesting. Yeah. That she can come out the other end and then come to accept it, but it's still not like all her shit isn't solved. Like she still has all that history, and she didn't get the guy in the end, but she was able to accept it that's how it is, and that she's not just going to like. You know, fucking throw on a cocktail dress and, like, put her hair up in a sexy way and then stroll in and fucking plant one right on him and then just, like, make him hers. That's not how it works. He still has a girlfriend that he loves and that he cares about. Mm-hmm. Like, it does, he's not just gonna, like, leave her for you just because you had this, like, revelation. And that's fine. That had
nothing to do with him.
That's fine, yeah. And you shouldn't be doing it just for him regardless. Like... You should be like the real problem wasn't that he wasn't paying attention to her. Which is why she
called herself instead of him, like I said.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very true. Yeah. True.
Yeah. Because it wasn't about him, and she wasn't doing it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really interesting to see her like split up into two because they're both her, but they're both like. Different, but they both still kind of want the same thing. But the scared Futaba was like she didn't want to even admit to herself that she was worthy of like the fun, or not necessarily the fun, but like
sort of
she's like, oh, you guys had a fun time with that version of me. So obviously, you only need that version of me, and the other rest of me can just fuck off and die because no one wants this part of me. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Mm-hmm. It's really sad.
Yeah, what did you say? So I was technically wrong. I think I thought that she was getting the recognition or the attention from the internet that she couldn't get from the guy. But it turns out I was technically wrong, and I think you were closer to the truth, where she just... What did you say specifically?
I said she was feeling... well, I think I was kind of wrong as well.
What did you say?
Because I said she was feeling repressed, and she was posting that stuff online because she didn't want to be like that in her daily life because she felt like she couldn't, but she was like using that as an outlet for, I guess, attention.
I guess we were both kind of wrong.
We were both wrong.
It turns out it was way more interesting than that, where she was sort of proving everyone else right. It was like she threw that out there like
everyone only likes me for my body. See? It's proved right.
Yeah.
Feels like shit about it.
But also gets this weird attention. Yeah. Like, you know, like gets some reward from it in that everyone like wants to see that. But yeah, it's both like feeding giving her positive feedback in the worst way and giving her negative feedback also in a bad way. Like,
yeah.
You know.
And then it's just like, could have been, if someone hadn't intervened, it could have just been really like an endless cycle. And then maybe if like no one had been, like maybe if it had gone on longer or whatever, and then she got that random text, she could have been like, oh, maybe because I'm such a piece of shit, maybe I should just go and do that, because now it's at even like the next level of like, oh, I'm like really not even a person anymore.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I don't think now, like after seeing it, I don't think Sakura sent that message, but I wouldn't put it past him to. Do you think he would do that? He does. He seems way nicer. I feel like that is something that Hachiman would do from fucking Origairu. That's full on his solution to the problem would be to go as far in the other direction as possible to solve this problem, like just to completely fucking tear down the entire situation by like sending a shock to everybody and like completely, you know, flipping the table, as it were. Mm-hmm. Like that's always his solution of like, oh, there's this problem. Well, if you just rather than finding the solution, let's just destroy the problem, and like that. Then you have to find a then now we're in a different game where the rules where like we can start from zero and go to it. There's not going to be all this complication from here to the end. If we just completely destroy all the circumstances and then set us on a completely different path, then we can, you know, figure things out from there. So like, yeah. So, but it doesn't seem like Sakuta he's far more honorable and is able to come to a much more mature solution.
Yeah,
than that.
Yeah, it's also interesting because I feel like maybe this one was slightly more realistic. Like this one seemed less like high school, like we were talking about at the beginning of this, of like, oh, why is it in high school? And then I was like, well, it's in high school because these problems are caused by high school. But I feel like the issues that Futaba was having could have come to anyone at any point in their life.
I feel like it is more high school, though.
It is definitely more high school, but it's not necessarily like this classic high school problem of this or that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of like an alt problem that we have. Like it's just something that really messes with me. Similar to how we were saying, like the whole parents are out of town for business, they're overseas, whatever. Yeah. It's just this constant thing of, especially in anime, of like, why are they in high school? In this show, I know I was saying like, why are they like this? Seems like the classic case. I don't think so anymore. Like after watching that and after thinking about it a little bit more, I think that them being in high school does make legitimate sense.
But it also makes sense as to why, if all of their parents are like taking off all the time, or they have weird relationships,
why they have all these
why
issues,
why they are the ones experiencing this specific issue of this weird supernatural variety, when everyone else is probably also having problems, but aren't like going to the extreme of like literally splitting into two people.
Is it Kunimi? Kunimi? I like, they said it so many times this episode and I can't remember it, but like I wonder what his parental situation is, or if we're gonna get some adolescent syndrome from him.
Yeah.
I doubt it, because he seems pretty like well put together and normal.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems pretty cool and pretty normal. And like a really good friend as well. He's a really good friend. I was also wondering what kind of thing could cause someone to like turn back into like a child version of themselves with no memories.
What, sorry?
I've just been thinking like in the back of my mind about
Shoko?
Yeah. And I was wondering, what if she just like was going to graduate and then like had this immense feeling of, I just want to be a kid again, or something like that. Like I like just really not wanting to become an actual adult.
Peter Pan
so
syndrome.
Much so that she literally turned into a child.
I could see that.
She's in 7th grade at this point. That's still pretty child. And like, since several years have gone past at this point, she would have gone back to like being like around 10 years old, maybe. And then several years pass, and then, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought I was thinking about that. I think that's my going theory on her.
I think that is possible. I think that does make sense, but for some reason I'm not willing to commit to it. But I do think that's the best theory we've had so far.
I think there might be something else. It might be something with him rather than her. But if it's with her, I feel like it's because she was older.
What if he just like deletes people that he's in love with? That'd be funny.
I don't know. But I am kind of glad that she came back as a kid and he's not having like weird, like, oh, I like but my other crush came back and now I'm even more caught between all of these beautiful girls. Once again, really glad that they're not, like, crossing that line of friendship and romance.
I like that, especially with Futaba,
seconds.
But I do feel like my fears of... I don't care anymore, but, like, my original thing of... I really hope he's not just power fantasy loner guy who, like, is super badass and witty and stuff like that for the whole thing. I hope that we see other sides to him. It seems like that... I'm okay with it, but it seems like that's what it is. Because he, like... Imagine if you, like... Okay, POV, you're 15-year-old boy... you aren't very good with girls. You don't have many friends. You are kind of a loner. What if you had like a tragic Sasuke Uchiha backstory where like you have this crazy scar, this claw mark scar on your chest? You're really smart, but too smart to care about anything.
You were accused of beating people up and putting them in the hospital.
You're accused of 1v3ing 3 guys into the hospital. You have a harem, and you like offhandedly remark about their tits all the time and ass all the time, and they like it, and they think that it comes off as a joke, and it's just part of the banter that you can like talk about how good their tits look in that yukata. Like imagine if that was you, if you could just have those relationships. Like, you know, it does seem like a bit much sometimes where I think it's funny, but it does seem like a little bit power fantasy, or like a little bit of a...
He's a little bit too cool for the situation.
He's gone from like just smart but misunderstood guy to like James Bond inexplicably.
He's the therapist they never asked for.
Yeah.
But also extremely inappropriate.
And a
but
cute
they don't
anime
mind.
boy. Yeah.
And he has a really good friend. He has an awesome best friend who's just kind of cool, and he's like, even though he's a loner, he's so good at dealing with people in a level that they didn't even know was possible.
Yeah. But maybe that's what I liked about Futaba as well, is that like he does like fuck with her about her tits, but they do seem like they're on more of a friend level
because they've been friends for years.
Yeah.
And that's the same with like Koga. They weren't.
But with Koga, it's still. It wasn't on the same level.
It wasn't exactly.
It
No, that's
seemed
that's why I'm saying that Futaba was different, because the relationship there was like has been going for a long time, and it was like this 3-friend relationship, and like it seemed really realistic as well.
It's this very Harry and Hermione type situation, sort of.
Yeah.
Where they can be sort of close in like that. If, like, they couldn't be that close if there was romance between them. Like, they could only be that... They could only, like, you know, embrace each other, or, like, really talk about... Like, he could, you know, like, make those kind of jokes, and have there be no romantic thing at all. I think it worked way better in these episodes than it did, like, in previous ones. And obviously it works with Mai, because they're actually dating, so it's different. But it's, like, when it comes to Koga... or his sister, it doesn't seem right. It seems kind of weird, and that's where like the power fantasy thing that I'm talking about, of like the superstar suave but misunderstood like witty anime boy who like solves everyone's problems. I get it, but you know, it didn't bother me at all in this one, because their friendship seems really real, and like the fact that he can stay over at her place and she's cool with it, and like, I don't know. Something about it really worked for me.
Yeah.
That just it was really believable, and I could tell that he doesn't have any feelings for her like that, and she doesn't have any feelings for him like that. But you know, it just worked out, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm liking this show more and more, especially with these episodes with Futaba.
For sure. She's fucking best girl.
At the beginning, 100%. I was like, when it was all about Mai, I was like, hey, this is really cool, and then it suddenly wasn't about Mai, and I was like,
I'm glad that Koga was in between.
I know, that's what I was gonna say, though. It was really nice to like introduce the format of like, oh, it was that, and now it's this girl, and he's helping her out. And then now it's like the heavier version of like someone who he really... I mean, obviously he cared about Koga, but not onto like the same level as like a best friend who he's been trying to help out for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be moving on to what I think is this girl
Switching bodies, Freaky Friday style.
Yeah, Freaky Friday.
With Mai. Freaky Mai Day.
I originally speculated that was going to be the sister, but it doesn't seem to be. And judging from her looking in the mirror and being like,
yeah.
It seems like that's not entirely her.
Yeah. Alrighty. Hope you guys enjoyed. Get uncuts for this show and Naruto and other shit. And get a week ahead on the show. If you just can't wait for the next one next week, you can get a week ahead on patreon.com/boldcast. Check that out. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And we'll see you in the next one.